Hey everyone, it's Kevin at Bear Creek, August 4th, 2020. Uh, it's a day after I submitted my video on how I handle unproductive hives, and I got a lot of feedback, quite a bit of feedback actually, from my followers. And first of all, I just want to say that I actually appreciate everybody that takes the time to respond to all my videos, whether it's a like or a comment or a question or anything. You have to understand that I am not telling anybody how to keep bees. This is the way I do it. Now you can do whatever you like. You have to do with what works for you in your apiary, and I've said that 100 times before in my videos. But I just wanted to address some of the comments in general that I gotten regarding mainly the hive that's right behind me. Number one, many people noticed that I pulled out apivar strips out of it, and there was a honey super on. The apivar police were strong yesterday. First of all, you have to understand that I put those apivar strips on probably mid-April. For the spring. And although I put a super on, queen excluder, I just forgot to take them off. Now the active ingredient has got to be pretty much completely dissipated within six, 7 weeks, and I didn't put the supers on until the end of June. So sometimes you want to give people a little bit of a break on that. One of the comments that I had gotten on this hive behind me was, queens stop laying when you leave the apivar strips in too long, and that's probably what it was. Well, as you saw in that video, she didn't stop laying. I mean, she continued to lay. There was nothing stopping her. There was 6, 7 frames of cap brood in there. So that wasn't the issue at all. It had absolutely nothing to do with the issue. And if queens stop laying because apivar strips are in there, then we're all in trouble, because so many of us put active apivar strips in our hives in April for May during the brood buildup period of time. Do what you want in your own apiaries, to be honest with you, but I've never seen that be an issue here for me. Maybe if there's a study done that says it blocks queens from laying. I've never seen anything like that. Maybe you saw an internet post from somebody that was passed on from person to person. I have absolutely no idea on the matter. Another person suggested, and this was nice of her to suggest it, that the reason that my bees didn't produce any honey is that sometimes bees don't like to go through a queen excluder, which I agree with her 100% on that premise. However, as you saw in the video, it wasn't like all the frames in the brood box were all plugged out from honey. Matter of fact, they were all plugged out from brood with a nice capping of honey, which is what you want in a brood nest. So I don't really think that was the case, that they didn't want to go through there. I don't know what the case was. I don't know. Maybe they weren't motivated this year to produce much honey. I have absolutely no idea. I have no answers in the fact. All I know is that an unproductive hive, and this was the point I was trying to make, you make something of it instead of just having a hive in your backyard. So what I did was I split it into 3 and created, essentially 3 hives by boosting 2 mated queens. Which brings me to another point that somebody suggested, that that I shouldn't have put Here, I'll show you. When I combine the hives, I shouldn't put the queens on top. I should put the queens on the bottom. And while I can agree with that to a point, I can't agree with it 100%, and I'll tell you why. If I had brought the queenless colony, to my mating yard and introduced it to my mating nukes, I would have set the queenless colony on top, because all the foragers coming back into the queen right colony would be coming back, and they would know that they're queen right, and that's their queen, and that's their colony of bees and everything. So all the foragers coming back are going right in. However, that's not what happened in this case. I brought the mated queen colony to the queenless colonies, and that's why I set those on top. So all the foragers that were coming in are going to a colony that in a spot that they recognize. So they're coming right in, and you know, same smells, everything in that box is what they were used to, and the introduction was a lot slower. And that's the case with all three of my introductions. You know, if you ever read Brother Adam, and Michael Palmer talks about this too. You know, Brother Adam used to take mated queens out of the hive and go get a mated queen, and he'd run it right in. There's no introduction really needed. What you're introducing is the bees. That's the ones that kind of don't get along much. But a mated queen, and when I say mated, I mean laying queen. A mated queen that's been shipped and she stopped laying for a while has a different pheromone, and yes, it needs a very big introduction. But a laying queen, you can pull it out of a colony and throw it right in. I've made mistakes right here in my yard. You've actually seen the videos if you've been watching, where I shook a mated queen a laying queen into my cell starter, and she destroyed all the eggs. But the bees didn't kill her. You know, I shook her straight in. There was no introduction. As a matter of fact, I shook bees in there too. So, you know, and she laid up a storm in there. So I appreciate that, you know, people have their opinions, and I think things get passed along on the internet, maybe that, I don't know, that you haven't run into, but I've run into this stuff before in my 5 years. God knows I don't know everything, and I got a lot to learn, but, you know, I've seen what works for me and what doesn't work for me. Now, all I was trying to do with the video was, number one, kind of unmask a mystery as to, number one, why that one wasn't producing any honey, and the other two, why they weren't laying. Very, very odd behavior, to be honest with you. You know, like, again, with the introductions, you know, the newspaper, I used the newspaper. Those bees had that paper chewed through overnight, and they're already combined. I removed the paper on one of them, and the other one, they removed the paper for me in the middle. I picked it up just to take a look. So they're already combined. I'd like to go over and show you the queen running around in that colony. If she was marked, I'd probably do it, because it'd be easier for her to spot. But there are a lot of bees in that colony that I have to go through to show you that she was accepted. But the amount of mistakes, accidents that I've had dumping a mated queen, a laying queen, into a colony that I didn't mean for her to go to, there really is no need for that kind of introduction for a laying queen. For a colony of bees, yeah, it's probably a good idea to try to slow the roll of introducing two maybe large sets of bees from two different colonies together. But that one colony right behind me here, you know, my mated queen had one frame of bees in it. That was it. And the other colony was powerful. There was no need. There was no need. They'll accept her, no problem. But those are the kind of things that I just quickly wanted to address to you, my followers. And again, I really appreciate all the comments, but again, I'm not telling you how you need to keep your bees. I'm just telling you how I did it. And honestly, it works, and it does not matter. It does not matter if you put the queen right box on top or on the bottom for the introduction. Actually, one comment stated that you know, the bees in the queen right colony can't feed the. Well, you know, there was plenty of honey in that colony. There was plenty of honey in the queen right boxes to feed the queen for a week, let alone overnight, before they introduced themselves together. So again, I don't know where that information actually comes from, but you know, I just want to tell you my own experiences with it. It's really not an issue. It really isn't. And you know, I'll check back in a week or so, and we'll see how these colonies here are all coming along. Okay, let's take a look and see if we can find that queen and see if she was accepted or not. Because I'm the curious type and the impatient type, actually. Nothing on the cover. Well, let us see what we can see. First thing to do is to move this over. Now, the way I work a hive, if it has a frame feeder, I always push them over to the side. That way I can move the frame feeder this way. They rarely build comb behind the frame feeder and the wall. So that always leaves me room to work my frames this way, if you get my meaning. Honestly, that was one thing I did learn from the commercial beekeeper. That's a honey frame right there. So and I'm going to try to keep this in the frame. And you can see what I can see. Again, all capped, but this was from the previous tenant. Fully capped frame. And I do not see her on here. Might take a while for me to find this. Thought that was her for a second, but it wasn't. I'm a bitch. Well, this is going to prove me wrong, isn't it? There she is. Okay. Wow, took me a while. There's my queen right there. Let's hope you can see that. Let's see if you can see that. She is right there. Absolutely accepted. Look at the wasps, man. I cannot keep these wasps out of here. Well, and look at that. She has climbed. Honestly, she was on this frame. Now she's over on this frame. Absolutely accepted. Like I said, you know, I had to prove it to everyone. You know, I guess I got to prove it to myself. A mated laying queen needs no introduction. So there it is, proof that a laying mated queen needs no formal introduction. And I got wasps all around me here. I don't know, they're pissing me off. But you can just run them right in, honestly, on a queenless hive. They were queenless for an hour. They knew they were queenless. And she's a laying queen. Run her right in, laying queen. Now, if I had had a mated queen that was shipped to me, hadn't been laying for a while, I would have had to leave her in a 3-hole cage with candy and let them chew her out over a few days. Absolutely, that's what you do. Sorry about the scruff in the earlier video today. I saw what I looked like, and I said, you know what, I haven't had a proper haircut since before this COVID started, so I had to go and get it cut and trimmed and shaved and all that other good stuff. So hope it looks a little bit more presentable now. That's it. So till next time, happy beekeeping, and remember, all beekeeping is local.